Your Bibles, Proverbs chapter 31, verse 30. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 30. Can I have my quote on the board? Proverbs chapter 31, verse 30. I want us to pay attention to the quotation I'm going to use to introduce this sermon that I'm preaching. I want you to pay attention to that quote as I read it. Proverbs 31, verse 30. Listen and listen very carefully. All boys eventually notice how a woman looks. Hardly do they inspect. What they see is who they take home, not who she really is. Majority of fathers don't sit their sons down and ask what kind of a woman he's looking at. All boys, okay, go on. Are you following me? Are you following me? The person on the okay. Most fathers wait till it is the season for marriage. No one tells the boys that there is much more to a woman than her appearance. Of course, his father also went home with the appearance only to discover that substance is different from appearance. Hardly do boys bother about substance. Like his father, he saw, he liked, he married. Many men jump into marriage with women who make babies happen, not the ones who make destiny flourish. Many men jump into marriage with women who make babies happen, not the ones who make destiny flourish. Let me say it again. Many women jump into marriage with men who make babies happen, not the ones who make destiny flourish. You know, in this month of February, I'm going to be preaching sermons under the series that I've called Rules for Relationship. And this morning, to launch this series, I'm going to be speaking to us a sermon I've called Style or Substance. Style or Substance. From Proverbs chapter 31 verse 30. Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Let's pray this morning. Heavenly Father, I ask that the entrance of your word today will bring understanding. I pray that you will speak to us, speak to single men, single women, married men, married women, that every one of us will walk away from this sermon and have to change something, correct something. That this is not, Lord, I'm not coming here to preach a condemnation sermon. I'm coming here to convict and to commend and to help people be the man or the husband or the wife that you have called us to be. In Jesus' name, and all God's people said. I want to begin by looking at what I've called the cry. You know, Winston Churchill, you know him, the most famous British Prime Minister. Everyone knows Winston Churchill. I've written all kinds of things about the man. He was voted as the most famous, most important British Prime Minister of the 20th century. Churchill sat on a dinner party one day organized for the wife. I think Lady Clementine or something. This dinner party was organized for the wife, and the journalist asked him and said, "Winston Churchill, can you make a wish? If you died and you got to the next world, what will be your wish?" And everybody's thinking that perhaps Winston Churchill will say, "Well, I want to be a prime minister in my next world. Maybe I want to be prime minister of the United Kingdom in my next world. Maybe I want to be rich in my next world. Maybe I want to be more popular in my next world." To everybody's surprise, you know what, Churchill is always saying things that amaze people. To everybody's surprise, Winston Churchill stood up, looked at his wife, and said, "I want to be the second husband of Lady Clementine." I said, "What are you saying?" He was actually saying, "If I get another opportunity, I'll marry her again. If I get another opportunity, I'll marry her again. But if you take what Winston Churchill has said and put it side by side with what we hear from men, with what we hear from contemporary men and women today, that's not what men are saying. That's not what people are saying. I do a lot of marriage counseling and a lot of interrogation with marriage. And one of the questions and one of the echoes you hear from men and women is, Pastor, I made a mistake. Pastor, I married the wrong man. Pastor, I married the wrong woman. And that's the cry. That's the cry coming out from a lot of men, a lot of women. Pastor, I chose wrongly. Pastor, I had all these people coming to ask my hand in marriage. But how did I choose this one? Pastor, I had all these people coming to ask my hand in marriage. How did I choose this woman? I had all these good girls that wanted me to marry them. Well, why did I end up with this one? Why did I end up with that one? That's the cry. That's the cry. Sometimes people, this cry, they bottle it up and they bottle it up, and one day the next thing you hear is that the marriage has collapsed. They cry. Why did I marry this person? They cry that I made the wrong choice. And let me tell you something. A wrong marriage choice is worse than a wrong job choice. You know, I work for a company. I told you the story how we hacked into IT industry. I remember submitting my CV to an IT company in London that I wasn't qualified for that job, but we could talk. So I got into this job. I promised them all kinds of stuff. I said, listen, I'm a distributed object engineering programmer. The white man said, really? I said, yes. I said, I'm going to change this company. He said, you will? I said, yes. I said, I'm going to give you scalable programs. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Well, they hired me, and they asked me to write a simple SQL query. I couldn't. The next day, they gave me another job. I couldn't. On the third day, they brought me into a conference room. They sat me down. They said, Emmanuel, we're going to have to let you go. I said, no, don't let me go. Don't let me go. You see, they let me go and I walked away, no big deal. Within 1 month, I picked up the next job. I learned my lessons. You know, the problem with broken marriages is the scars hardly leave you. It's not something you could just get up, open the door, and walk away. It's not something you could just say, oh, okay, hasta la vista, see you later. No. Sometimes the scars don't leave you for the whole entire lifetime of yours. And that's why it's becoming very critical that we choose people how to make the right choice. Turn to your neighbor and say, you must learn how to make the right choice. Folks are walking around blaming everyone, blaming themselves for the wrong choice, blaming themselves for this and that. But you must learn how to make the right choice. And I'm going to teach you a few things that sometimes it's not just making the right choice, you have to be the right person. So we have a crisis today in our marriages. Men and women who think I've chosen the wrong woman. I've married the wrong girl. I've married the wrong man. They're walking around, they're very depressed. How long am I going to stay in this marriage like this? You know, let's begin by looking at the counsel that our text gives us. The Bible tells us something. The text we read says, and I read it, charm is deceitful and beauty is vain. A scripture, a translation says that beauty is passing. I want you to hold on to that translation. It says charm is deceitful and beauty is passing. Now let me say something, what the text is trying to say. There's nothing wrong in choosing a spouse because you are beautiful. But understand that beauty is passing. And you can't build a permanent institution on a passing foundation. Let me say it again. I am one of the people that will tell you, marry somebody you are attracted to. Right? If you can't stand them in the morning, if you can't stand them in the night, you know, I tell some men, before you make a choice to marry someone, meet them without makeup. So you know what you're really marrying. I mean, you've heard that news before. This man marries this woman. They go to the room. You know, do what you do on the first day. She said, honey, wait. Boom, she takes her long Brazilian hair off. He's not panicking. They're singing. She's just singing. The next thing, boom! The long eyelashes. She's taking that one off. The guy is thinking, all right, not too bad. The next thing, that one goes off. The guy's thinking, what is going on? When he freaked out was when the woman began to pull her artificial legs out. Man opened the door and ran for his dear life. Let me tell you something. You can't build marriage on passing beauty. I am not here to tell you marry somebody you're not attracted to. No. Yes, you have to be attracted to them. But beauty cannot be the end point. The whole choice can start from beauty. But you better make that choice based on something more than how they look, more than the length of her lashes and the height of her heels. The same thing with women. You're making choice of who to marry because of the, I swear to God, shoes he's wearing. I like, what do you like about him? I like his shoes. I like his shoes. What? His shoes. Man, you know, I fell in love with him. So he came to my house one day with these crocodile shoes. What is going on? I like his shoes. You know, I like his suit. Man, he dresses to kill. Those things are passing. Our text says beauty is passing. You can't build a permanent foundation or a permanent institution on the foundation of something that is passing. For some women, they get pregnant and they don't lose the weight. The slim woman you married has now become Mama Yabo. If you married her for her slimness, where the slimness is passing, now you have to live with Mama Yabo. I tell these young people, make that choice right. Turn to your neighbor and say, make that choice right. It is a permanent institution. It must not be made over temporary factors. You got to listen. I'm not telling you that to go and marry one person that looks like, no. You must be attracted to them. Are you getting what I'm saying? But marriage goes beyond physical attraction. It goes before, if you're dating and no, I cannot. But if we're looking at who am I going to spend my entire life with, you can't make that choice on artificial eyelashes. Pastor Mela, you see her hair. It's not even her hair. Pastor Mela, you see that girl, man, my body's shaking. It's not her hair. Her high heels. It's not her. Go to England now. It's which one? The contact lenses. So, Pastor, she has green eyes. It's not green eyes. Pastor, her eyes, she has this. Her eyes looks like cat eyes. And that's why you're marrying her. One day she'll take the contact lens off, and you'll see who she really is. So, our text gives us a little counsel. It says, charm is deceitful. Some men are charmed into marriage. They've been charmed. And beauty is vain. And then when we have made decisions on this vain and vanity and passing characteristics, Pastor, I like her British accent. It is with that British accent that she will insult you. Listen, insult is worse with British accent. No, let me say that again. I went to a wedding with my wife one time. I saw these two Nigerian couples. You see some people, you say, they look like they have a better marriage. I'm just watching them. We're in the same place. And I'm thinking, man, they look like a perfect couple. Maybe he's a doctor. She's a pharmacist. But I know they're Nigerian, but she has a British accent. So marriage has finished. Wedding has finished. So I go to bring the car. So my wife's waiting for me. You go to the car park. I'll get the car out to come pick my wife up. The couple I was admiring, thinking, hey, this is the ultimate couple. I'm walking behind them. They don't know I'm walking behind them. I'm just walking behind them. Like I'm just following them. We're going to the same car park. And they're having an argument. You like British accent. It was with that British accent that he insulted him. He said something. She said, talk to the hands. I said, try. Talk to the hands. I said, try. You watch Hollywood movie, you say, that's the kind I want to marry. Listen, beauty is passing. You bet, yes, begin from beauty, but build that marriage on something more stable. Turn to your neighbor and say, make that choice on something more stable. So let's move. In the quote that I read, you could see, it was actually my friend who wrote this. He said, many men jump into marriage with women, and many women jump into marriage with men who make babies happen, not the ones who make destinies flourish. So you're asking a question. I want to marry a woman, or marry a man, not just because we're going to make babies, but has he got the things that can make destiny flourish? Once you start asking that question, game don't change. If we are talking fun, if we are talking sex, that's a different thing. But the moment you start asking destiny questions, turn to your neighbor and say, are you asking destiny questions? They come to me and say, Pastor, a sister comes to me, Pastor, the guy I'm dating took me out. I say, yeah, they took you out. I say, where did you go? So we went to one Akara joint in K2. Well, that's a different thing. Say, okay, what did you discuss? Yeah, we didn't really talk much. We talked about Davido. We talked about Amaka Disappoint Me. You know, we talked about that music. I said, Kai. And then, Pastor, we're getting serious. You're getting serious. And you went out. What did you discuss? No, we just talked about, one movie. Yeah. Listen. Turn to your neighbor and say, start asking destiny questions. The moment that relationship goes beyond and we're looking at getting married, the questions you ask in that relationship should start doing what? Changing. It should start changing. I know at the beginning, who's your favorite musician? Oh yes. What's your best soup? Amala and this. When you have passed that, the moment you sense that, Pastor, this is getting serious now, I expect you to show that the relationship is getting more serious by the question you're asking when you're sitting and having coffee. Questions of destiny. That's why people go into marriage. You marry somebody who they know how to make babies, but they don't know how to make destinies flourish. That's why you see a high-flying woman marry a man and you meet her in 10 years. You're like, what happened? What happened? Oh, I know what happened. She met a man who can make babies, but who don't know how to make destinies flourish. You meet another man, you were in school together or single together. The guy was a high flyer. Now you meet him. His head is down. What happened? Did Amaka disappoint you? What happened? He's walking like this. And when you interrogate him, you know what you find? You find that he's hooked up with a woman who knows how to do what? Make babies, but who doesn't know how to do what? Make destiny flourish. In that marriage, before you get into it, ask questions that will tell you whether this person can make destinies flourish. Because I'll tell you, if all we're going in there to do is to make babies, we are going to end up becoming one of those men who you interrogate and they say, Pastor, I married the wrong person. I am stuck. There's nothing like having a feeling of being stuck in a marriage. So, the question you must ask Pastor Emmanuel is, okay, Pastor, beyond just the length of our lashes and the height of our heels, what are the other things that I need to look at as I'm choosing a husband? This is not for just women, and as I'm choosing a man. In Proverbs the Proverbs 31 woman, people have said Proverbs 31 woman, but it's not really Proverbs 31 woman, it's the Proverbs 31 couple. Right? How many people have heard of Proverbs 31 woman? We heard about the Proverbs 31 woman, right? Proverbs 31 woman, is that right? Proverbs 31 woman. No. That text is not about Proverbs 31 woman. That text is actually about Proverbs 31 couple. There's a man and a wife in that text, and we are going to go to that text to see if the man married the woman, we are going to see the things in that woman that he married. We are going to see the things in that man that she married. And we're going to find out that this couple has everything it would take to make destinies flourish, not just to make babies. And we know in that text that the text tells us that her husband is known at the gate. The gate was a place of power and dominion. You don't come to the gate if you're not important. So she's married a man. And I don't think perhaps he wasn't at the gate before marriage. But somehow this marriage has taken him to where? Taking him to where? To the gate. Let me ask a question. The man here, is your marriage taking you to the gate? Or is your marriage taking you to the Megad house? There are marriages you get into. And if you're here, you start going up. And there are marriages you get into. If you're here, you start going down. The Proverbs 31 man, the Bible tells us that he's known at the gates. He's known at the gates. That marriage was a marriage that sustained him and got him to being at the gate. So let's get into some of the things that will help us make this choice, so that we're not just making babies, but we're making destinies flourish. The first thing, listen, the first thing you must look at when you're making a choice is to ask yourself, this person I'm married, this person I want to marry, are they all about production or consumption? And you know in dating, you don't need to get into the marriage, you know in dating. Turn to your neighbor and say, production or consumption? It's the biggest narrative in their life, consumption. You know, I need to get iPhone 20. Ask her, am I your father? If you come to her and you say, let me buy you iPhone 20, and she says, put that money in the savings account. You got something here now. You're looking at a destiny woman now. You're looking at substance now. If you go beyond style now, some women are thinking, Pastor, put me in one savings account. If you come to her and say, let me get you iPhone 12, and she said no, and you have to almost say, I don't know. No. Ask yourself, is she all about production or consumption? Production or consumption. Proverbs 31 verse 13 to 14. She seeks wool and flax and walks with willing hands. She's like the sheep of the merchant. She brings her food from afar. This woman is a woman more defined by her ability to produce, not by her propensity to consume. Ask the lady, ask the man, is he about production or is he about consumption? Because there are going to be seasons in that marriage where you need a partner who will stand with you and help produce. When Babangida came in, I was a young man. I remember that very clearly. He came in and he brought this thing called a structural adjustment program. I still remember that. I remember going to my dad. I said, Daddy, what is structural SAP? He said, it means things are going to get tough. And suddenly now my father's salary can't pay our school fees. I went to UNN. Everybody in my house went to a top university in Nigeria before they messed it up. I went to UNN, another one went to UNN, another one went to Futo, and my parents were paying the school fees. Suddenly my father's money can't put us in university. Wow. But the man had married a production woman. The man had married a production wife. My mom was ended up as a vice principal of a school. She's a teacher, big teacher, top teacher. You know what she did? She began to rent land in Owerri. She rent land in Owerri, hire workers. The workers will farm cassava for her. For 3-4 years in my house, my parents did not buy food from the market. You know what I meant? It now meant that my father's salary can go far, right? And you know why that was possible? Because my dad didn't make a decision on the basis of the length of her lashes and the height of her heels. He went and chose a woman defined by production more than by consumption. You're making that choice. You say, Pastor, how would I know? You will know. You will know. Because every time you meet, buy. It's buy me this, buy me that, buy me that, buy me that, buy me. If the biggest vocabulary of that dating relationship is buy, please say bye. Say bye. I am telling you. If the constant narrative coming from him or coming from her is buy bag, buy Dodge Bagana bag, buy iPhone, buy this, and then one day send her text, say your name is bye. I'm saying bye to you now. Because I'm seeing the future and I could see that you're a man or a woman more defined by what? Consumption than what? Because there will be seasons in life where you need a partner who will roll up her sleeve, and help you do what? Produce. Production or consumption. So that's the first one. The second one is fidelity or infidelity. Fidelity or infidelity. You know, I've been in Nigeria now for 2 years without my wife. She had to go to England to settle our children down. And who knows what will happen this year. Once she's done that settling of our kids down, I get back to England every 4 months. She's meant to come here every the way we planned it. Okay. Let me tell you what has never happened in our marriage. Let me tell you what's never happened in our marriage. My wife has never called me and said, Emmanuel, you know, when she says Emma, it means things are good. Yeah? When she says Emmanuel, you know, there's fire on the mouth. I never got a phone call from Claudine and she says, Emmanuel, where are you? I said, I am in Magrelos. She said, no, I don't believe. Put your phone on video. Put your phone on video. On video? Let me tell you. Put your phone. No, put your phone on video. And who's that girl there? Let me tell you what has never happened in our marriage as well. I've never called my wife. And she's in England. In England. Say, where are you? I'm in Liverpool Street. Say, which Liverpool Street? You know what? Just put it on Google. Put it on Google. Never. You know why? When we were dating, she never gave me a reason not to trust her. Never. I never gave her a reason. Why are you still considering marrying a man that when you were dating, he was double dated? And you're still saying yes. I don't understand it. I don't know whether you know what you're doing. I don't know whether you think this is, maybe you think we're playing games. You think this is, I don't know why you caught him 3 times with a woman. And you're still, I want to. Why are you? They're carrying you, taking you to the slaughter. Listen, if you tell, I don't understand. You can see I'm struggling to understand it. If you don't know, there are men who, I don't know. These things began to happen when I got married. Yeah, maybe. But this one, you know. It was happening when you were dating. You saw it many times. If you didn't know, there are men who get into marriage, something happens, and that begins to happen. And you could deal with that. Say, okay, Pastor, my husband, this is now happening. When we were dating, it wasn't happening. But what I don't understand is you're making a choice. You can't make a choice when it's clear that somebody has no fidelity. Proverbs 31 verse 11. The heart of a husband trusts in her, and he will have no lack of gain. Why are you saying yes to marry somebody you don't trust? Why now? Because he has 6 packs. Let me tell you. I didn't prepare for this anymore. Well, I used to have 6 packs. I did. My 6 packs become 1 now. You know, after late night, I used to have 6 packs. Listen, I used to live in the gym. Saw me in England with my biceps. You see, it's now 6 parts have become 1 part. My big afro now is departing. There's a departing. It's going. My wife says, I like your afro. But she didn't marry me for the afro because in 5 years' time, this afro will no longer be there. But what I'm saying this morning is, why do you want to marry somebody that whilst you were dating, there were trust issues. If there are trust issues in dating, those trust issues will be magnified in marriage. But look at what our text is telling us. The Proverb 31 couple had trust for each other. So fidelity or infidelity. So make that choice. Pastor, I want to marry him. I want to marry her. But while we're dating, he cheated on me. I want to marry her. I want to marry him. But while we were dating, he cheated on me. What was that? What's going on? That's why we told the single people in our church, I said, when you start dating, please inform us. They say, pastor, it's control. I said, no. I said, control for what? You think I care who you get married to? As far as I'm concerned, go to my 7-Up, bring one mad woman from there, come here and say, pastor, I'll tell you, keep dating. Right? I said, tell us. The reason why is this. Whilst you're dating, let's also be sure that he's not dating somebody else down there. Because as this church grows, men will come here and be dating 6 people at the same time. It's happening in my church in London. 10,000 people church. The man's dating one girl in choir. Dating another one in protocol. Like that. And you still want to marry her? What is that? Turn to your neighbor and say, do you really know what you're doing? The third one is generous or stingy. Now, you know, I said the first one, I said production or consumption. Listen, whether production or consumption. Let him not come and say, somebody saying up, you see, honey, see, pastor said, I need to be producing. All right? And you're consuming. You're always asking me to give. That's not what it is here. If you're dating someone and they are stingy, run for your life. You know why? Because love is giving. And marriage is love. And let me tell you, marriage is a lifetime of what? Giving. Marriage is a lifetime of giving. You're going to give. He will hurt you, you're still giving. She will hurt you, you're still giving. He will hurt you, you still cook, you still give. He will hurt you and he will get sick and you're still pampering him. Marriage is a lifetime. Listen, forget everything you hear about marriage. Marriage is a platform, a lifetime platform of giving. And as you're entering the marriage, and the guy is akagom. I've gone to learn some things to preach some akagom. Gum. Yeah? Anyone listen to me this morning? For God so loved the world that he did what? You see, every time love enters a sentence in the spiritual realm, the next thing that follows that sentence is what? Give. For God so loved that he did what? If you can't say you love or you're loving and you don't do what? In the spiritual realm, give must be preceded by love. Or love must be followed by, if he says I love you but I can't give. So this is how I'm going to live forever. Huh? And let me tell you, when I say this, women think it's about the man. My mind is stingy. Let me tell you guys, this is not just for women. A stingy woman, run for your life. This is not just for, the man I'm dating is stingy. No, it's possible that the woman you're dating, let me tell you something. Let me tell you, ladies, if in that relationship, giving only goes from him to you, if he comes to me, I will advise him to run. You know, giving should be a reciprocal thing. Right? He buys you, you buy him. Huh? On his birthday again, he will now carry his money again to take you out again and buy you gift again on his birthday again. Something is wrong with you. No, something is wrong. Problem is that you see this thing in dating. You see this in dating and you're still walking to the altar. Somebody better stop you before you get to the altar. Stop you before you get here and say, bro, come back. Do you know what you're doing? You know, my wife, my boxers, my t-shirt, she see, your boxer's torn. She constant giving. Even from Lagos. I have an excuse to say, I'm in Lagos. No. I ring Amazon. Her birthday is 14th of September. I go to Amazon. I order things. And they deliver on 14th morning. And 11th of December, the same thing. From London. They are not giving. What are you going there for? What are you going there for? So the third one is generous or what? Or stingy. The fourth one is worker or sleeper. Morning till night, she's watching MTV. Morning till night, she's watching Telemundo. Morning till night. You come back home, house is still filthy. Not that she went to work, right? Those are the things that will mess you up in marriage. Let me tell you, after a while, you see these long lashes, you will see it won't turn you on anymore. After a while, what will turn you on, you come to your house, and every place is in place. You say, wow, man, honey, you're fantastic. Let me tell you, after a while, what begins to turn a man on is no longer the physical appearance of a woman. When you start hitting 40, 45, 50, what begins to turn you on is words of encouragement. It's the fact that she's there for you. It's the fact that she's a producer. It's the fact that if there's war, she will stand with me. What turns you on sexually changes with time. It changes with time. So the woman and the worst is when a man is doing this. How old are you? 42 years? You're still playing PS? How many years? Obama. So what's that? Bro, how old are you? Let me tell you, I've got 3 daughters. I got 3 daughters. We already have issues with marrying them off here. Let me tell you, I hear PS, you're playing PS at 30 years old, 32 years old, 42 years old, sitting at home all day playing PS. Look at the text, Proverbs 31 verse 15. She rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household and portions for her maidens. Proverbs 31 verse 26. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teachings of kindness is on her tongue. She looks well to the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. You want to make a choice? The moment you say that girl is lazy, slow down. Lazy, and especially in this your country, Nigeria. Lazy. Even when you're hardworking, you're in trouble in this nation. You're hardworking. We are all in trouble in this nation, even with all our hard work. Then you now go and marry laziness. No, I can't work. I can't. I remember dating my wife, and then I lost my job, So I lost my job, and then she called me one morning. She said, you're not working now. Come pick me up by 10. I picked her up by 10. The next day she called me again. I said, I'm not coming. She said, what? She said, why are you agitated? Why are you suddenly agitated? I said, because I don't have work. When a man doesn't have work and he's at peace, your boyfriend doesn't have work and he's happy, he's at peace, you're looking at an efulefu. I tell you now. A boyfriend who doesn't have work but is agitated. Why? I said, I'm not happy with where I am. Consider him. The one who doesn't have work, he's happy. Huh? He's happy. Say, life is good. So when you're making that choice, you're looking beyond his haircut. looking beyond his, I wanted to say Ghana must go shoes. No, I swear to God. You're going to look beyond that and say, is this guy comfortable with idleness? See, is he comfortable with idleness? Because if he's comfortable with idleness in dating, you're going to have issues in marriage. It's going to come up. Let me tell you, what marriage does is magnify all the things you saw in dating. Marriage doesn't eliminate them. Marriage hardly eliminates them. What marriage does is magnify them. So a man who is happy with idleness, even if he's unemployed, and he tells you, you know what, in the morning I can't see you. Where are you going? I'm going hustling. Let the hustling be that he went under the bridge and sat there and came back in the evening. But at least there's something in him that says, I'm not happy with idleness. You know the ones you must run from? These young men we're raising now, looking for sugar mummies. Your brain has so been messed up that as a man made in God's image, you're looking for a woman with money. What have they done to you people? I'm looking for a woman with money. Let me tell you, very few women have more money than their husband and have a peaceful home. Very few. Very few. There are very few women who can control more resources than their husband and not find a way to diminish them. Very few. So, no. Pastor, I'm looking for... what is wrong with you? What's the problem? Walker or sleeper? Now here's the next one, and there are many ones we can end it here. Wisdom or a wimp. Let me tell you the day I decided to marry Claudine. Let me share this story with you. My wife looks Ethiopian, looks Caribbean, looks Lebanese. Sometimes it depends. So, I see her. So that was beauty, right? That was beauty. A lot of that beauty has passed, though. Been passing. We are 50 now. Passing. Why did I marry my wife? Why did I marry Claudine? When KICC London, back in the days, Pastor Matthew was still preaching then. Matthew Ashimolo. He finished preaching a sermon on faith. This big KICC, Danley Road, I think. Danley Road, London, East London. I see this girl in church. Bro, young man, you come to church. Keep your spiritual eyes open. Keep your carnal eyes open too. You're lifting up hands in worship. It's allowed, not a problem. He who finds a wife, you have to find, you can't be finding with closing your eye. You run into something. I'm worshiping. Wow, man. Pastor Emmanuel won't rebuke you on that one. Don't worry, we all did it. All these old people now who are forming spirituality. Listen. Have you asked your dad one time? He said, don't cut this hair, don't cut this hair until you see your father's old picture. And his hair, this is more than Mohican. This is like dragon hair. He said, Daddy, that's you. And you're telling me not to cut. Huh? This is you, dragon hair. Let me tell you, how did I marry my wife? So I'm talking to her now. Church has finished. Pastor's preached a sermon on faith. After service, I began to preach my own. I said, you know what? Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. But you have to apply it. By the time I'm speaking for 3 minutes, Claudine did something that blew my mind. She brought her purse out, brought her jotter out, and she said, that thing you said, say it again. I said, what do you say? Say it again. And as I'm saying it, she's writing it. 2 things happened that day. Her writing what I'm saying is her saying, you have content enough for me to follow you. You have content. Not just appearance, but you have content. And he did something for me. I said, this woman, I don't know whether before then anybody has written anything I said. I said, this woman. I said, let me tell you, she knows that. She's watching online. You look at her. I know you're there. You're watching. I said, for writing what I'm saying down, I'll marry you. You know why? Because writing it down she was already, forget it's affirmation. I walked away from there feeling like $1 million. You know, I felt like Bill Gates. I felt like Bishop T.G. Jakes. I felt like, she's writing. Before then, I don't think anybody wrote anything. If I said something, I would say that they'd be walking off. She's writing. And instantly she was communicating to me that I see you as a man of wisdom. And that's now we're talking destiny. When you're in the realm of mind, that boy has wisdom. You're now talking destiny. When you're in that realm, that girl when she speaks, she has knowledge. I can listen. Don't marry a man whose advice you can't take. You see, I see women marry people. Pastor, my husband's always talking nonsense. But he was talking nonsense when we were dating. Why do you want to marry a man who's always talking nonsense? A man is going to lead you. Listen, forget all this feminist thing. We still believe that the man is a leader of the home. Now you marry a man who's talking nonsense. Right? She opens her mouth with what? Wisdom. You know how many times my wife has given me an advice? Even the last 2 weeks, last 3 weeks. Don't marry a person whose advice you can't take. They tell you something, you say, no, I'm not. If nonsense comes out of their mouth all the time, right? Why are you considering marrying them? You must marry a man that during dating, you notice that during dating, when you have complicated issues, you go to him and he says something, or you go to her. You know this girl that you're dating, she has a way of helping you see perspective. Then you're talking destiny now, not babies. Not babies. So is she wise or is she a wimp? Is he wise or is he a wimp? She opens her mouth with wisdom. With wisdom. Wisdom. So let me conclude this sermon. I haven't preached this sermon. Let me tell you the intention. I'm ending now. I haven't preached this sermon just so that you can say, okay, I'm not going to marry this guy. I'm not going to marry this girl. Let me tell you what the main thing why I preach this sermon. I want you to look at all the things I preach in this sermon, production or consumption. Forget the person you're dating and ask yourself, am I a producer? Forget the person, yeah? Am I talking this morning? This is not condemnation. I know some people are like, you're fired up. Somebody's going to receive a bye-bye text today. It's over. I didn't preach the sermon for that. Pastor, that boy, I've been looking for a theological reason to bounce him. I'm looking for a theological reason to, Pastor, you have armed me theologically. That's not why I preach this sermon. You know why I preach this sermon? Your infatuation should not be making the right choice. Your infatuation should be in being the right person, being the right choice. So what you should do today is, okay, production or consumption. You know what? I'm a consumer. Today I'm going to start becoming a what? Producer. Stingy or what's the word? Generous. You know what? There's super glue in my hand. I need to go and wash it. I need to start. That's the purpose of this sermon. The purpose of this sermon, before you could say you have the right to choose the right person, you must first become the right choice. Can we give up praise this morning? Give me praise this morning. I want every head bowed, all eyes closed. Head bowed, all eyes closed this morning. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. He gave his only begotten Son. God so loved you and I that he died for us. If you're here this morning, you don't know the love of God. You don't know the love of God. God hasn't, that love of God, you don't know it. You haven't felt it. Say, Pastor Emmanuel, I want to give my life to Jesus this morning. Anyone? I want to give my life to Jesus this morning. Eyes closed, heads bowed. I want to give my life to Jesus this morning. Someone, put your hands up very quickly. Anyone? I see that hand. I see a hand. Put it clear. There's nothing to. I see a hand. I see that hand. Anybody else? I want to give my life to Jesus. Pastor, I can't walk away from here. I want to give my life. I want to know the love of God. I see that hand. Anybody else? Quick. Final call this morning. There was a time you were following Jesus. But you stopped following Jesus. You stopped following Jesus. You say, Pastor, I want to come back. I want to come back to following Jesus. Put your hands up very quickly. Anybody else?